Okay, everyone, I'm Tim Gula. I'm here to teach you how to do quick sketch.
Tim Gula is one of those guys that floor you when they tell you their history. He worked with Frank Frazetta and Moebius, major studios like Disney, Marvel, and DC. He studied with Alex Nino and Fred Fixler, who was a direct student of Frank Riley. When he was a kid, Jack Kirby invited him to a studio to watch him draw.
Yeah, I would, over his shoulder. And he wouldn't speak. He'd be in trance. You know how, like with me, when I do the figures, there'd be like rough drawings and indications. The pencil would hit the paper and it wouldn't stop until the page was complete. And it just like it poured out. And I remember just looking over his shoulder thinking, how is that possible? How is that possible? And I remember just feeling so inadequate. And here's a page to like say, I don't know, Mr. Miracle or Commandy. And I would think, how is that possible? The pencil would just hit the paper and the page would just be done. There wouldn't be any indications, no rough drawings. It just started off and then it was done.
Was it kind of like Kim Jong-gi?
No, what's that?
It's an artist.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, the Korean guy. Yes, exactly. It is exactly that. But Kirby would do a whole story, a whole book like that. Yeah. I mean, it was all in his head, played out. And then my luck went further when I was working for a while doing this stuff for France. I got to work with Moebius, and there's another guy. What he would do is he'd practice doing these great drawings. I'll do one. Yeah, you want me to? Like a Moebius type of thing.
Oh, are you talking about automatic drawing?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great exercise if you can do it. So I keep my mind blank. I have really no idea what's going to appear on the paper, but I just trust it will. And I just let out kind of like a highly imaginative, spontaneous expression, we'll call it for lack of a better term. This is how it would start. Just like real simple, kind of almost, let's call it almost like microscopic, the stuff you'd see under a microscope, but there is no microscope. It's all in your head. And you create like this, like your mind's eye becomes a focus. You learn how to focus it. It's all doing very organic shapes. This I would put as much importance on as the figure, because this takes your mind and your mind's eye to a place that normally is unexplored. And it can't help but to enhance your whole view of your ability. I have no idea. It's all just happening on its own. It's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune.
And this is what Moebius showed you?
Yes, because I would come in one time and I'd see Jean, he'd be doing these like strange doodle-like things, and I'd say, what are you doing? And he says, oh, I'm just letting my mind relax. And it is. This is how you let your mind relax as an artist, and in a beneficial way. It's funny how many artists like Alex Nino, Moebius, Jack Kirby do the similar thing, unawares of the others' experiences in this. That was the first thing I hit, like, wow, there's this strange commonality with all these guys, and they're all super good. They're all highly imaginative. I mean, to the point of it being unbelievable. And it's these exercises they do where they allow their mind just to be free and expressive. It relaxes your mind, and you can feel your breathing change and everything, especially after you've been under a lot of stress with a certain assignment. It's good to do these things. It kind of keeps you in check so you don't burn out or become too, burdened. It's kind of like takes you back to like a childlike sense of things, frees you up. And then drawing kind of maintains a freshness. A lot of these artists, they become stale and bitter because they don't, I think, allow themselves to like enjoy it, take it on a more enjoyable level of it all. So the figure is important and useful. And this, what I'm showing you now, is as useful really on a lot of different levels because it keeps your mind sharp and fresh. So you're able to deal with challenge. See, look, I mean, where's all this coming from? But there it is. It's abracadabra. And Mobius would do this like in pen and ink and watercolor. And it's like, oh my God, how do you do that? But I mean, I caught on enough to be able to do this. I mean, to some degree the same. But I get to experience the benefit that those exercises provide. No pressure. It's not like, oh, it's got to be of a certain quality. It's got to be of a certain standard. It has to look like none of that. You allow yourself just the freedom to be, well, I guess yourself, but in an artistic kind of playful way. Because when your mind is relaxed, and this is a Mobius quote, when your mind is relaxed, it's the most creative. But I don't have to tell you all to know how hard it is to get that mind relaxed and yet productive. Sometimes it seems utterly impossible, but you do this kind of stuff on a regular basis and suddenly it's much more available. Like, what in the heck is this? But I don't care. It's interesting. And it feels good, kind of like scratching an itch.
How did you meet Alex Nino?
Oh, okay, I was in the Army, and I got discharged in the Army in the Philippines, and Alex's house, Alex Nino that is, was walking distance from the base, and while I was there, I didn't have the moxie to approach him, but finally when I got out, I said, oh, I'm one of your biggest fans. I've been stationed on this Clark Field base. And his first thing is, well, Clark Field's right over there. What do you want? I said, I'm a big fan. And he says, big fan, what are you talking about? And then I showed him my sketchbook and he goes, oh, wow. And he was like really impressed. And he says, yeah, and I just now got out of the service and I'm here to be your student. And it shocked him so much that he agreed. And I benefited from that because I'm really good with a Chinese brush, thanks to him, but I don't have one to show you. But I'm kind of using the pencil as it were a Chinese brush. See how like I'm handling all these spaces and creating like these shapes? But the best benefit of this isn't so much what this drawing's looking like, but the feeling of good I'm getting by doing this on this level. It's kind of like a real, I don't know, like exhaling. I have to recommend you all try it. And it'll be hard to do at first because you're not used to letting go. But once you do, there's a lot to gain from that, a lot. And you'll be able to grow more completely.
All right, guys, go ahead and try it now. Put down your phone and give yourself a few minutes to relax. Draw whatever lines your brain wants you to draw. Just let it spill out. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Oh, and smash that like button.